Apostle talking back at you with this truth real quick. Giving all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, Who Are the Carmanians? This is from a video that was put up by GMSDOCUTUBE channel 12, which is Apostle Orion Lob, concerning the brother from GMS Chicago asking him a question concerning second Esdras, the 15th chapter. Well, in the video it's entitled, the video is entitled second Esdras 15 28, or verses 28 to 63. So I'm going to let you and I did this on previously I went into the word Carmanians, which is found in second Esdras, the 15th chapter, and the 30th verse. And I'm going to show you by their own, the Carmanians, or the Elamites, know that they're the Elamites. The Persians know that they're the Elamites, which proves that if there are such a people known as the Elamites, if there's a people called Elamites, it would have to be from one man named Elam. Like for example, the Cushites are the Cushites go back to Cush, and Cush is one of the four sons of Ham, which in the Hebrew is Chum, which means hot. Now you have Sarnetta in the so-called black conscious community, they'll say Chem or Chemite, which they're saying Ham. So you know, when they say Chem or Chum, they're saying Ham. So so they all believe that there was a man called Ham or Chum. So if there's such a man, if there was a man called Cush, and he was the son of Ham, and you can look it up. You can go to Esau. Esau knows everything. See, you Jakes are behind. You Jakes are behind, man. You Jakes are in kindergarten, and Esau's on a graduate school level. You Jake, you are the ones with the problem. Esau don't have no power. Esau knows. And look, Vocab knows. He knows the truth. Vocab is not a dummy. He knows the truth. That's why he bucks up against it so much. In the play Hamlet, there's a term, and I was going to do a video on that. Thou protestest too much. And when you look that up, I have it somewhere. Let me see if I can bring. That's a whole different subject. Anyway, when you go to thou protestest too much, and I believe it was Gertrude that said that. You got to go back to the Shakespeare, plays. But anyway, if you put in thou protestest too much, meaning, it'll tell you that it means that you're protesting so much of the fact that you really believe the opposite. Like if you speak, if you have a girlfriend and you speak how much you hate this guy and he's ugly and this, that, and you're constantly bringing his name up, deep down you think he's handsome and you would love to go on a date with him, or whatever the case may be. If you use that term, go on a date, I'm old. Anyway, let's get back into this. I was watching I came across one of the Sarnetta videos, and he had a sister on there. I forget her name. If you go back maybe 3 days a week, and they actually met. And I didn't listen to the whole thing, but they actually mentioned the Edomites. They actually mention the Canaanites. Now they're talking about Can. If you're talking about Canaanites, you would have to agree that the Canaanites came from one of the sons of Ham. Okay, they speak about the Cushites, which are the Ethiopians. They know that the term Ethiopia is a Greek term. It's not. They originally were not calling themselves Ethiopians. And the sister, in a discussion with Sarnetta, they actually mentioned the Edomites. But the Bible is supposed to be a book of fairy tale. But there's such a people called Edomites. There's a place called Mount Seir, which is called Petra today. But anyway, I'm gonna let you listen to this. And you know what's coming out. The fact that we here at Great Millstone and the other Israelites, that we have the 100% truth, and Esau knows about it. That's why Esau demonizes us. Vocab did a recent video on Hebrew Israel or something and violence, and he goes into the story of the guy in Jersey City, and they're going, and that's old news. That's what, I don't know, 6 months ago, 7 months ago. And then they said, well, this guy was a black Hebrew Israelite. And then we came up and made videos saying we don't know that guy. and if we did know the guy, the guy just went off on his own. But it came to we come to find out that he was, I don't know if he was formerly a part of ICGJC. He was I don't know if he was currently with them or not, but it doesn't make sense. But this is how Esau rolls, man. They'll take one event and they'll blame it on a whole group of people. Now, if somebody goes on a shooting spree and kills a lot of people, and they found out he's a Roman Catholic, are they going to demonize the Roman Catholics? Nope, they're not going to mention the Roman Catholics. But they'll demonize us because they know that we have the truth. Thou protestest too much. Anyway, I'm going to let you listen to this, and then I'm going to bring up the proof that the Carmanians are actually Elamites. The people of Iran, and you can look that word up. Iran did what they were calling themselves before they were called Iranians. They were calling themselves Persians, and the Persians come from Elam. It's mentioned in the scriptures. Persia and Elam are mentioned in the same sentence. I believe that's in the book of Esdras, if I'm not mistaken. I can bring it up. All I got to do is go to Elam, do a word search, and in the King James, and it'll come up. Anyway, so you see how all these pieces are coming together. Thanks to the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and thanks to his prophets, starting with the men of Great Millstone. And you're going to ultimately find out the number one group that the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakakodash, is dealing with are the men of Great Millstone, from the apostles on down. When it comes to the whole Israelite thing, we are numero uno. Not bragging or boasting. The mark of the beast, these guys have been bucking up against it, but now they begin to see it. They ain't saying too much. The mark of the beast is the microchip. Anyway, let me let you listen to a little of this.
Shalom. Let me start off by saying Barak Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakakodash. Welcome to a lesson dealing with 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. The brother Benji, Brother Zawanya from the Chicago camp, had asked me to go through the 15th chapter, the 20th verse to the end. I'm not sure how far we're going to get down, but Lord's will, we get a few of these verses in there, And pretty much it's pretty self-explanatory, dealing with how the Ishmaelites, the Iranians, are going to be fighting against America. But there's going to be something that's going to draw that whole thing together, you know.
That's why you got to keep your eyes on the Middle East. With all this COVID-1984, and we say that that's going to lead to the mass chipping. That's why they're talking about forced vaccinations, because they want to ultimately force the microchip in you. They want to they know that there's a percentage of people that's not going to accept it. That's why they're talking about forcing it, using the military, because they know that like I said, that people, there's a certain amount of people that are in the know, that know what's going on, and a lot of them are Edomites. You Jake still don't know what's going on. Y'all don't know what the hell's going on, man. Y'all don't know what, y'all are lost, man. That's why I re-upload the video that the elder Manatas Akbar put up, and he was doing a walk and talking. He was talking to Jake, and Jake don't know what's going on. Jake don't know what's going on, man. That's why you got to keep putting up them videos, especially on the Mark of the Beast, because Jake is on a low level, man. Low frequency. I mean, low frequency. Anyway, let me let you listen on.
Remember, the Lord is mustering the hosts of the battle. Armageddon, the Valley of Jehoshaphat is being, set up to fight this last war, which is World War III. And building off of World War III, we know that in the scriptures speak about these 3 world wars in the book of Revelation. And there's a book by the name of Satan's Angels Exposed. And on page...
Which, by the way, Satan's Angels Exposed, I had that book before I came to the truth, and I believe that was 1979, maybe 1980. And I was the one that introduced the book to the elders over me, and they basically read the book, and they were like, yo, y'all got to get this book. And you had a lot of, most people in the school went and purchased a book. There was a religious bookstore up the street, and everybody would go up there and get that book,
161 and 162, and I believe 163, they have an account of what Pike and Mazzini put together, a plan for 3 world wars to bring in global domination.
Oh, and Albert Pike, there's a statue of him in D.C., and he was, when you do the research on Albert Pike, he was a high level Mason. Like I said, there's a statue of him. Even Apostle Gabar had went down to D.C. This was, we talk about, I don't know, something like 10 years ago, maybe more, 11 years ago, and did a video, and he focused on the statue of Albert Pike. And this guy was the founder of the KKK, but nobody's saying, well, take his statue down because he started the KKK, because people are not in the know. Like I said, the American people are on a low level. They're on a low level. This is nothing but, this is Funland from Pinocchio.
So I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then we're going to get into the scripture and then take it from there. It says, in 1871, Giuseppe Mazzini issued a remarkable letter in which he graphically outlined plans for 3 world wars. Until recently, this letter was on display in the British Museum Library in London. Pike aided in making this plan known in the United States. It was a blueprint for 3 wars. So when we go to the next page, which is the next chapter, which is chapter 22, the 3 wars planned or coincidence. Albert Pike's 3 supreme councils controlled 23 other subordinate groups throughout the world. The Mazzini-Pike plan was to control the world. How would this be accomplished? Just bear with me 1 second. It says, how would this be accomplished? It says,
I mean, you can watch the rest of this video, but I'm trying to jump.
and to so-called demolish and destroy them and bring them under subordination, or manipulating the governments of Great Britain.
I'm just jumping around.
The religion that they would destroy each other, and these different armies are being amassed.
Okay, I'm at 7 minutes and 56 seconds in of a 31-minute video. So we're back in the second Esdras, the 15th chapter, and he's at the 28th verse. So let me let you listen. The key point in this video that I want is the 30th verse.
You know, to fight and to bring about so-called World War III, which the scriptures call woe, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. And you see that these Ishmaelites have a lot of weaponry that they've bought from the Americans, they bought from different allies, you know, and they're pretty much ready for war. It says, and a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, because the Lord is coming to what? To destroy them. The Lord is gonna the Lord said he's gonna bring the gather the nations to that he may pour upon them his indignation, even all his fierce anger. It says that all they which hear them may fear and tremble, because this devastation is going to be so bad, you know, that like what's his name? Albert Einstein said that if World War III is fought with nuclear missiles, World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones, because the nuclear devastation is going to cause a lot of havoc. Also the Carmanians, which are the Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, because this is one of the allies of Russia, the Persians, and they're going to get busy, and they're a major player.
Okay, you notice Apostle said the Persians, right? The Iranians. Let me let you listen to that one once again.
The Iranian raging in wrath shall go forth as Albert Einstein said that if World War III is fought with nuclear missiles, World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones, because the nuclear devastation is going to cause a lot of havoc. Also the Carmanians, which are the Iranians, raging in wrath,
which are the Elamites, and I'm gonna prove that to you with their own source,
shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, because this is one of the allies of Russia, the Persians, and they're going to get
right. That's in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. They actually mention the word Persians.
Busy, and they're a major player in this World War III, and they're a major army and a major land in prophecy, concerning prophecy. It says, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
And join battle with them is talking about join battle with the Ishmaelites, the Arabians.
And the Assyrians here represent the so-called America, you know, which is...
So there's going to be some sort of league with some of these Arab nations, but they're going to be backed by Russia, which is mentioned in Ezekiel 38, Gog and Magog.
Spiritually known as Egypt and Sodom, and you could say that they're known as the Assyrians or Nineveh, you know, because they're coming in that stead, or in that steed. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand. And this is dealing with the Ishmaelites, remembering their nature. What is their nature? To be wild. Because the angel came to Hagar and told her that he was going to be a wild man. His hand was going to be against every man, and every man's hand was going to be against him. That's why they're involved in so many, you know, conflicts and situations, because that is a part of their nature.
Okay, so he read the 30th verse. Let me and this is not a deep, this is a very simple, self-explanatory as you read the scripture. You know, this is just another way of saying quoting what Ezekiel said in Ezekiel 38. Same thing. And they shall be a guard unto them. So now let's go to what I did was a while back I put in Carmania, and it led me to the Encyclopedia Ironica. And I'm gonna start from the top. It says Carmania, region east of Fars. And by the way, they don't speak Arabic, they speak a language called Farsi, from the word Fars, the Fars province, approximately equivalent to modern Carman, the old Persian form rendered as Elamite. It goes on to say, attested only once in the inscription where it is said that siso wood or wood of the jag tree was brought from Gandhara and Carmania. For Darius would be an Elamite. Darius's palace at Susa in the Persepolis. There was a restaurant we passed a couple years ago in the city called Persepolis. Fortification tables. Carmania is mentioned fairly frequently in connection with travelers between there and Susa. A certain Carkis, spelled spelled Karkis, apparently a high official of Carmania, is also named the old Persian ethnic name. The word Persian is mentioned in the scriptures. The word Elam is mentioned in the scriptures, and there's I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's the book of Esdras in the scriptures, if I'm not mistaken. The old Persian ethnic name Carmanian is reflected in Elamite Carmanaya is Hebrew, which occurs twice in unpublished tablets. I mean, that's all I gotta read. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Let me go to the blue letter, put in the word Elam. Let me bring that back. Let's see what happens. The first time Elam is mentioned in the Bible is Genesis 10 verse 22. The children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Aphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. We came out of Aphaxad. Now what I'm trying to find here is bear with me for a minute. Let me do it this way. Oh boy. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble finding it, but let me do it this way. Let me try it this way. Let me try it this way. Okay, it wasn't Esther. I was right. I said Ezra. Okay, it says here in Esther, the book of Esther 1 verse 1, it says, now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, and this is the guy Xerxes in the movie 300. This is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 107 and 20 provinces, 127 states. So that's showing, that's proven to you that the Carmanians go back to the Elamites, and the Elamites go back, well, they go back to India. The people of India go back to the Elamites. I mean, so that's all I gotta say. Oh, let me do this. Let me go to Ezekiel. So keep your eyes on the Middle East. Keep your eyes on the Middle East. Ezekiel 38:1, and the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which are the Russians, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them, and say, thus saith the Lord the Most High, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And if you look at the map, you'll see southeast of Russia is Turkey, and then you got Germany, and then further to the east you got England and Spain and so forth. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth and thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shield. Modern bucklers and shield are these weapons, all of them handling swords. Modern day swords are the missiles. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Gomar and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarter, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. It says in Joel, the weak the weak shall say that they are strong. You know what I'm gonna look up the word Persia. Well, I don't gotta look up the word Persia. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. and it's on to the next one. So even these people know that they're the Carmanians, and that their line goes back to the Elamites, based upon the Encyclopedia Iranica. And Iran is a new name. It's a new name. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. And put in the word Iran. Oh, I just put in Iran, and it says come up a lot of news things that you can print. It says Russia and Iran War Games 1, Russia and Iran or Iran War Games 2, Russia and Iran War Games 3. What does the word war games mean? They're shooting projectiles that are not lethal. So they're getting that's Ezekiel 38 happening as we speak. Matter of fact, let me click on that, and it's a video that's going to pop up. There's nothing showing. Okay, here we go. Boom. It says Iran's military kick starts 5-day naval drill in Caspian Sea. Let me just do this here. Okay, now Carmanians are one. Iran. If you go to Iran, put it in Google, it says Iran or Iran. It's actually pronounced Iran. Also called Persia. So we know that the people of Iran are also known as the Carmanians, which goes back to the Elamites, or India, which goes back to Elamites, which prove that they're one of the sons, which proves that there's a Shem, which proves that there's a Shem. If there's a Shem, then there would have to be a Ham or a Chum. If there's a Chum and a Shem, there would have to be a Yapath or Japhet. It doesn't go. Because the term Iran is a new term, and it tells you the particular guy. I gotta find it. Oh boy! Wow. I'm in Wikipedia, right? And I put in the word Iran, and this is the second paragraph. It says Iran is home to one of the world's oldest civilization, beginning with the formation of the Elamite kingdoms in the 4th millennium BC. 4,000 years. Wow, 4,000 years before the Messiah, and that pinpoints that right around the time of Shem, Ham, Shem, and Japhet. It said it was first unified by the Iranian Medes in the 7th century BC. It says the empire fell to Alexander the Great. The Great Most High propped him up because he had visions and dreams that he was going to be this great military guy in the 4th century BC, and was divided into several Hellenistic states. An Iranian rebellion established the Persian Empire in the 3rd century BC, which was succeeded in the 3rd century AD by Sasanian Empire, a leading world power for the next 4 centuries. So this is the ancient kingdoms. You know, these modern terms that you use go back to these ancient kingdoms. Bear with me for a minute. I'm looking for origins of the word Iran. Let me do it this way. Let me go to etymology. It's not giving me anything. Okay, how did Iran get its name? Okay, I think I found it. The name Persia is actually a Latin derivation used mainly by Westerners to describe the region roughly equivalent to that of present-day Iran. During the reign of the Sassanids, it became Iran, which is the E-R-A-N instead of the I-R-A-N, meaning land of the Aryans. In 1935, Raja Shah Pahlavi asked foreign delegates to use the term Iran instead of Persia. Okay, now let me go here. It says, what was Iran called in the Bible? In a lot of parts of the Bible where this kingdom is frequently mentioned, books of Esther, Daniel, Esdras, and Nehemiah, it is called Paras, biblical Hebrew, Parash, or sometimes Parash or Madai, Persia and Madai. So you see how the Carmanians in 2nd Esdras 15th chapter goes directly back to the people, the Persians, which goes back to the Elamites. India, which goes back to Elam, which Elam goes back to Shem. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. With that, it's on to the next one. Shalom.